Hey guys, there is a hot new trend on TikTok lately that you need to hear about because it is amazing. Women are shocked to discover that the men in their lives think about the Roman Empire all the time. It turns out it's happening a lot.
How often do you think about the Roman Empire?
How often do you think about the Roman Empire?
How often do you think about the Roman Empire?
At least twice a day.
A couple times a day, maybe?
Wait.
At least 2 to 3 times a day.
What do you think about?
So why are men thinking so much about the Roman Empire? Let's explore this a bit deeper because I want to bridge the gap between the sexes here and share with you why exactly the Roman Empire is so impactful to men. Because I'll admit, I do it too. My wife asked me, yes, I think about the Roman Empire quite a lot, and I'm going to explain why. I am Adam Lane Smith, the attachment specialist. I work on helping people make their relationships amazing. Quick shout out really quick to all my new members on my channel. This is a new feature we just introduced and I am so thankful for your support. We've got 450 videos on this channel and climbing, and you make that happen. And for everybody who's new rolling in just now, glad to have you here. Welcome. So exactly what is it about the Roman Empire that draws so much focus for men? There are 3 key reasons that you need to know about, and guys might not even know these. So let's jump right in and find out together. Reason number 1, masculinity was way different back then than it is today. Today, men are struggling with the concept of masculinity. There's a huge argument on the internet. Is it okay to be masculine? Is it not? Even nations are starting to ban different pieces that were really important for masculinity while trying to encourage different types of masculinity. So what's okay? What's not? What's toxic? What's healthy? What's natural? We don't know anymore. Everything is toxic. So a lot of guys today are fantasizing about a time that seemed to really embrace manhood and masculinity. Rome back then existed at a time of huge uncertainty. Roman civilization brought what was thought to be order and peace and stability to much of the Western world. Now, the idea is that the Roman Empire was bringing order, which is innately masculine, to bring order to chaos, right? They were surrounded by what they called the barbarian tribes, bringing civilization to them, knowledge, recorded history, all kinds of things to unify them under this empire. Order. So in this modern world where so many men are struggling to even know what they can do or say or feel, so many men are turning to ancient Rome to indulge some of those masculine fantasies about what it would be like to be able to just, in their eyes, be a man. Plenty of video games that we play nowadays are set in Roman times. This illustrates it. It's a male fantasy. What would it be like to be a man that nobody is trying to take that away from me? We've got a lot of fantasized versions of this, of course, and romanticized versions. You've got Roman soldiers, the centurions, gladiators, the phalanx. You've got so many movies, you guys, that have come out over the last, let's say 80 years that have really romanticized this period. We really look at that time as a time of honor, loyalty, virtue. A man would fall on his sword if he failed his virtue. Honor and integrity was everything. Maybe it's a little romanticized, but this is manhood, and this is what men are craving today. Now, men today especially want to be respected, and they want to take control of their life. Many thought leaders in the men's coaching space right now are talking about these issues that men are facing.
So I had a psychotherapist called Adam Lane Smith on my podcast, and he said that male depression gets treated like female depression. Men are made to feel loved and accepted when all they want to do is feel capable and powerful. Give a man a purpose and the ability to achieve it, and he will crawl over broken glass with a smile.
This is why so many men come into my coaching practice and say, Adam, what makes a man honorable? How can I live my honor every day? What does honor even mean? What does masculinity mean? And how can I be confident? Men are craving this, and we look backwards in history at a time where masculinity was amazing. So guys, here's something you could do really quick. If you want to make the Roman Empire useful to you, really useful, make a list of those virtues that you feel the Roman heroes of old embodied, that you want to live today. Share this with someone you trust, like maybe your partner. Hey babe, I was thinking about the Roman Empire today. What? Do that. It'll be great. Start living those principles out, though, daily. Maybe you write them on your bathroom mirror, you live them. Seize your masculinity in this world and don't let anyone else tell you that you can't. Now, one big part of this struggle with masculinity is, are men even allowed to have feelings? What do we do, right? Are we supposed to cry all the time? Are we not supposed to cry ever? If so, how do we do this without losing our manhood? This is where Stoicism comes in and where it really fed into the Roman Empire. Now, Stoicism is absolutely huge right now among self-improvement circles, where men are working really hard to have better relationships with themselves and with other people. Stoicism was a belief system, a philosophy of controlling your emotions by feeling them, engaging with them, but applying reason to them. You didn't stuff them down and strangle them to death. You sorted through them. You processed them. You said, what does this information mean, and what do I choose to do about it? Men back then were encouraged not to react to their feelings, but to process them and then take action based on what those feelings were telling them. Stoicism was amazing, and this is why a lot of people today are learning to pick it up to regulate. Now, today, the argument is it okay for men to cry? Huge internet debate. If you cry, they say, your wife will leave you and cheat on you on the front lawn with your best friend because you had one tear. Other people say men should be crying all the time. We should be encouraging boys to always share their feelings all the time. And these two different views are sharing space. So men don't know what to do. They're afraid and afraid. The other side of this, our fathers and grandfathers, they were never allowed to feel anything. They had to be silent and work to death. So men today, we don't know where to go. We don't know how to feel. We don't feel disciplined, and we don't know where the line should be. Stoicism from the Roman Empire brings one answer for modern men to look at. You feel, but then you process it and you act with reason. Marcus Aurelius and his meditations are huge for this, and this is why everybody, it's the cliche, every self-improvement guy has a book, has Marcus Aurelius' meditations on his shelf. There's part of the reason guys think about Roman Empire all the time. But when you have the meditations there, it guides you through dealing with your feelings. Guys, have you experienced this? That can be really helpful. Now, coupled with this, Rome was viewed, partly because of this, as a time of reason over feelings. Contrast that with today, which is a time of pure feelings. It's very confusing to men. Many men yearn for a time where they believe was more logical and it made sense to them. So here's something you guys can do in relationships. Help the emotional context make logical sense. Guys in my coaching, for example, they're confused about emotional intimacy, what it is, what's being asked of me. Why does she want me to talk to her? Why is she trying to ask questions? What am I supposed to do to help her sex drive go up? I don't know. Why does it make sense what the feelings are? Why does it matter? The emotional stuff to them seems arbitrary and chaotic. So how do you do this? Well, you make the emotions make logical sense. That helps them build amazing relationships where everybody can feel fulfilled. When logic and feelings combine, men can thrive. So ladies out there who are watching this, and I know that you are, find a way to explain your emotional needs as problems and solutions. Men do great with this. Hey, here's what I'm experiencing. Here's what would help it. Can we do this together? If you can make it that clear for men, that's where they usually thrive. Men will do that and care for you. If they care about you and love you, they will do it. But it needs to make sense to them. Men do so great when it makes sense. I have men come in for help all the time in their confusing relationships where they feel afraid of connecting and discussing feelings and needs. So if you want to talk, and if you want to learn to bond, and if you want to share, for example, my attachment bootcamp course is a great way to learn and make the feelings make sense. That will fix a lot of the confusion for you and give you the skills you need to make logical sense of your relationships. Check out the attachment bootcamp course. Now, manhood and discipline over your feelings can work together to make a man worthy of being remembered, which leads us into point number 3. This leads into legacy. The Roman Empire is a time of legacy. That's why we're remembering it. The legacy of the Roman Empire. This is a fascinating aspect of it because it has endured for so many years, thousands of years, you guys. That's a legacy. Now, most men today have no frame of reference for how to be remembered, to how to live a life that has purpose and meaning that's going to fulfill them. So it's fascinating to them to see the men of old be remembered today thousands of years later. I have a book, Marcus Aurelius' Meditations, thousands of years ago, and I still remember him. So men watching this, what makes you specifically remember some specific Romans? What was it? Okay, yeah, military conquests. There's a lot of those, but what else? Marcus Aurelius, for example, we've brought him up a few times. Stoicism, I love the guy. All right, for example, he was a thought leader. You probably remember Romans who led by example. Romans who stepped up when nobody else did. Men today, we fantasize about doing this, right? When your number is called, what will you do? That is a rallying cry among self-improvement guys, masculinity gurus nowadays. What will you do? Well, the Romans that you remember stepped up. So guys out there, what legacy are you building right now? A lot of guys who come to me in coaching have never thought about this, but not living a life that leads to purpose is how you end up in a midlife crisis and despair and say, nothing I have built means anything. I am miserable. So if you feel that way, start thinking about your legacy and your impact right now. So part of the answer of building this legacy, you guys, really, really important piece, is being able to connect with other people to create that impact. Those Romans, you remember, their legacy was built by the people they impacted, the changes they made, the positive improvements, the defenses, the safety, the thought leadership, the impact they had on other people. And they did that through having relationships with those people. So if you cannot connect, one of the number one biggest pieces is usually that your attachment is out of whack. Fix your attachment and you can be remembered. Really important. All right, let's draw it all together. What can we learn today from Romans that applies to our relationships? Let's get men and women on the same page here so that women can think about the Roman Empire as much as we do, guys, right? Romans and love. How do they fit together? So number one is that men want to be respected. They want to be recognized and they want to be remembered. And they want things to make sense. Men today crave to embody this masculine virtue. They want to be leaders. They also want their relationships to make sense to them so that they can give love to the people they care about and build fulfilling relationships. If you can do that, amazing. But it has to make sense or they don't know what to do. So guys, if you want to build a life worth remembering thousands of years from now, reach out. I help men do this every single day and I can help you to be respected, recognized, and remembered. Okay, now it's your turn. What's your favorite part of the Roman Empire and why? I'd love to hear. And guys, how often do you think about the Roman Empire? Isn't it amazing? And ladies out there, was this Roman Empire trend really surprising to you? Have you asked your man about this already? And if so, what was his answer? I'd love to hear. I would really love to hear your voice in the comments. So until next time, this is attachment specialist Adam Lane Smith, and I will see you in the next video.